Inside Michigan Football is presented by Meyer. Michigan and Alabama from here in Pasadena, the national semifinals. Here we go. Sack, Drake McGregor. Blake's got it inside the 5 to the goal line. Here comes the blitz and down he goes. Tyler Morris down the sideline to the end zone and down he goes. What a catch by Roman Wilson. Touchdown, Wolverine. And John, that may be one of the best runs of Blake Corum's career. Low snap, quarterback run up the middle.
Yeah!
He's not gonna make it. And the Wolverines will play.
Going to Houston, baby! Oh my goodness.
Hi again, friends, and welcome to NRG Stadium in Houston, where Monday night the Michigan Wolverines will play for a national championship. The first time for Michigan since this guy. And the Wolverines won one back after the 1997 season. John Jansen, talk about what this game means Monday night.
Well, I mean, it's a lot for the program. Obviously, it was 50 years in between previous national titles. Hopefully this one is 26, and we can start having that and maybe even do a little bit better than that next time. But these kids right now are going through an unbelievable emotional roller coaster because it was a super high coming off the Rose Bowl. You travel here to Houston, and now it's no matter what happens, there's no other game. This is win, lose, or draw. There won't be a tie, but this is it.
John has had a chance to talk to the team about what you and your teammates accomplished, and I know it's resonated. JJ mentioned it to you in the postgame. What was that like for you?
It was obviously an honor to be able to talk to the team, but one of the things I wanted to talk to him about was how much this game will affect your life, how much it will affect the relationships that you have with your current teammates, with your coaches. It is a moment in your life that you will never forget, and from this moment on, it changes everything.
All right, John, let's talk about those last two drives in the Rose Bowl. We start with 4 minutes to go, down 7, everything on the line, and I'm thinking about Blake Corum and Trevor Keegan and all those guys that came back for that moment. It all came down to that, and they got the job done.
Yeah, and we've heard so much about this unfinished business, and to be down a touchdown, not only to be down a touchdown, but looking the length of the field as far as you can go. There were so many players that stepped up, whether it was JJ, Blake, all those guys that you mentioned, they had to step up in that moment, and they did.
And then in overtime, 2 plays, 2 runs, touchdown.
Yeah, it was, a lineman's dream. You put the ball at the 25-yard line, you run the ball twice, and you get in the end zone. And, the run by Blake Corum to actually get in the end zone was a huge effort by him, especially inside the 5-yard line. But just to even be in that position, it was executed perfectly from, breaking the huddle, motions before the ball was snapped, and then execution obviously after.
Let's talk about the challenge Monday night. Washington's defense, statistically not a stout, but they've been banged up and they're getting some guys back.
They've been banged up, but one thing I learned in watching both of the games that they played against Oregon, I was not expecting them to be as physical as they are. This is a team right now that is playing with a lot of confidence, but they're going to bring the fight to Michigan. And Michigan really hasn't seen that a whole lot. There's been a lot of teams that tried to do that, but this is a team that's going to bring the intensity, and they're going to hit you in the mouth from the very first snap.
A couple of guys I expect to have big games. Again, Blake Corum, and I think the tight ends might have a big game Monday night.
They need to have a big game because you got to exploit the center of that defense. We know throughout the course of this year, Colson Loveland has been a great target for JJ, AJ Barner at times as well. But if they're not going to roll JJ out his mouth, because the pass rush isn't the same as it was against Alabama, you're going to be able to sit in the pocket and utilize the whole field, open things up, and the tight ends will definitely be more a part of this game plan.
If the Wolverines get in a shootout with this Washington offense, can they keep pace?
Yeah, I certainly think they can. And they all know that that's a possibility. It's not the ideal way. It's not the game plan that you're going to draw up, but if they do, they can do it. They can match them.
Ideally, long, time-consuming drives, move the chains on the ground.
Yeah, keep that high-powered offense for Washington off the field. But if you can, convert on third downs. One thing we saw, and Nick Saban talked about it, they huddled up and took more time in between snaps at the Rose Bowl. I think the game plan, that part of it carries over.
All right, but we'll talk about that dangerous Washington offense and the challenge ahead for the Michigan defense next here on Inside Michigan Football. Inside Michigan Football is brought to you by Meyer, presenting sponsor of the 2023 Michigan football season, a proud supporter of thousands of local sports teams across the Midwest. We continue here on Inside Michigan Football from the site of Monday night's national championship game here in Houston. And John, let's talk about the Michigan defense and the job they did against Alabama. Jalen Milroe, dual threat quarterback, creates a lot of problems, and Michigan kept them in check.
They did. And, you know, one of the things, I talked to Braden McGregor this week on the podcast, and I asked him about, hey, we talk all the time about discipline, whether it's discipline from the linebacker position on the read option or the RPOs, discipline from that outside edge rusher. And he said, yeah, you know, you've got to be able to trust every single guy on this defense. Sometimes it's Mikey Sanders still that may have the outside guy. Sometimes it's Will Johnson. Sometimes it's, you know, a linebacker. You never know, but you got to pay attention in the huddle. Details matter, and you've got to be able to trust your teammate when it comes to being able to stop a player like Jalen Milroe.
And the Wolverine defensive front, man, not only on the last play, but all game long, they dominated the line of scrimmage.
They kicked ass, and it was from that first set of downs. You start off with the sack of Braden McGregor. All right, we'll give him second down, and then all of a sudden, third down, it's Josiah Stewart. It was on attack all game long, and you know, I thought it was a great job by Jesse Minter of picking and choosing those times where you're attacking with scheme. And we're going to see this a little bit when we talk about Jansen Vision in regards to Alabama. Their offensive line at time was blocking ghosts. They would show Josiah Stewart, or maybe it was Junior Colson up, and then they would drop, and it would be Mike Barrett coming. So they had this Alabama offensive line moving to where there wasn't actually anybody to block.
Challenge of Washington Monday night, though, is completely different.
It is. This is a much more athletic team. If you could, you know, it's hard to say that about an Alabama team, but they're much more athletic. But when you're thinking about this offensive line and how to attack them, tackles are really good. And I think we're very comfortable with Kenneth Grant, Mason Graham, and Chris Jenkins winning inside three. If you can win inside on that interior offensive line, you're going to, at times, going to need to drop 7 into coverage because of what Michael Penix can do.
Well, you better win at the line of scrimmage because the guys on the outside are likely the best wide receiving crew in the country. And we'll have more on that a little bit later. But first, our Ed Kengerski has more.
Saturday was Media Day at the CFP Final, which funnels into the common theme of distractions. The Wolverines dealing with a cyclone of outside noise as they prepare for this game.
It's all fun and cool just to see everyone getting interviewed and everything. But like you said, it's all about business. But I don't think we're having a hard time at all limiting the distractions, or I don't think that's affecting us at all. But yeah, just locked in on the game plan, ready to go Monday.
Where does that come from? The incredible mental focus this team appears to have constantly.
I think it starts with the coaches and specifically the strength staff. They just do, I'm sure you've heard a lot of mental stuff along with the physical stuff. Just that mindset of I don't really care. All the outside noises, it's whatever, you can't control it. I think that's probably where it comes from.
How exciting for a kid from Idaho to be in this situation.
Man, they're all excited. They're all behind me 100%, shown tremendous support all year. And yeah, big shout out to those guys.
Can you just talk about distractions and handling those?
For sure. I mean, there's obviously going to be a lot of noise going on. It's just obviously just staying focused on our goal. I mean, me personally, I've been putting my phone down, staying away from those texts and whatnot. I'll get back to those after this dub. But I mean, we've been facing noise all year, so it's nothing new.
What was Media Day like?
It was fun. I mean, we was getting some fun questions, and I mean, it's good, just get your face out there.
What kind of focus do you feel from this group this week?
I mean, I don't know how to describe it. I mean, it's been very intense. I mean, we've been working on it since spring ball, just our goals and what to focus on exactly.
We have plenty more to come, including more reaction from the players. You're watching Inside Michigan Football.
Inside Michigan Football is brought to you in part by Alro Steel, a great partner all season long. All right, John, let's talk special teams. Stuff to button up from a week ago at the Rose Bowl, but Michigan has typically won the special teams battle all season long.
Yeah, and honestly, for 3 years, it's been an absolute weapon for Michigan. So this is the outlier. I've got a lot of confidence that Jay Harbaugh and the coaches that assist on special teams are going to get it fixed because, I mean, when was the last time we saw an operation error with snap, hold, kick on an extra point? You could talk about a missed field goal. That's been a rare occasion. situation, but that's more of a shot that you're taking. But in terms of decisions, Samaj Morgan, Jake Thaw, those are ones that are coachable, correctable, and easily fixable.
Something to watch for Monday night. Every kickoff for Washington in the Sugar Bowl against Texas, every single one was returned. So watch for the return game maybe to play a role.
Yeah, there's some yards to be gained there, and we saw Samaj. Obviously, we know what he can do in the punt return game. We saw it in the Big Ten Championship game. He also lined up there in terms of the kick return as well. Very explosive.
Inside Michigan football continues. We'll hear from Wolverine head coach Jim Harbaugh. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Inside Michigan Football. You know, you don't get this far without cultivating a special bond, and that's exactly what the Wolverines have done to put themselves in this position.
Yeah, it's really just family. I mean, everybody's one, everybody's together. We do a great job at letting the outside circumstances to stay on the outside and not letting it get into what we have going on inside the building. So just staying together no matter what the circumstance is what our goal is always to do.
How can you guys make it look so easy?
We've been trained and prepared to be that way just from Coach Herb and the things we go through in the off season. So when things that we don't know are going to come and adversity hits, we always respond pretty well just because of the way we're trained and our preparation.
Speaking of adversity hitting, you're facing a high-powered offense. You know that. Can you just give me a thought on facing a Washington team, especially a passing attack with so many weapons?
I mean, it's an honor to be able to play a team like that because, I mean, as a DB, you love that challenge, love the opportunity to go out there and make plays. So I can't wait to see how we do and execute that game plan Coach Minter has for us.
Do they remind you of anybody you've played the last 2 years?
I mean, I would just say they have a good receiving core and a good scheme on offense. So only offense maybe like that is probably Ohio State that we played.
What are you seeing from these guys this week as you get ready? Does it feel like another locked-in type week?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, coming off that Rose Bowl, we definitely had to recenter our focus to this game and make sure we stay locked in and stay prepared. So it's a little different since we only got a week this time, like we had a month last game. But just getting back to that regular schedule that we had throughout the season and just stay locked in, it's been good.
How do you describe this culture to people, this culture that has enabled you guys to reach these great heights?
Yeah, I think this is a testament to Coach Harbaugh, honestly. Everything trickles down from him and how he's been able to, stay one-track mind, as he always says, throughout even all of his suspensions. And obviously we've been winning games on his suspensions, but I can't imagine how hard it was to watch from home on TV, especially in some of those bigger games like Penn State and Ohio State. But yeah, I think it's just a testament to him and how he's been able to manage us and how everything just trickles down.
If you trace it back, the veterans say this all started after the 2020 COVID season, and the younger classes have jumped on board to keep it going.
Our conversation with the head coach, Jim Harbaugh, is brought to you by Meijer.
Coach, some challenges this week in terms of travel. Right after the Rose Bowl, you guys get home at 5 in the morning. A couple of days earlier, you're here in Houston. How have you seen these guys adapt to the new schedule?
Yeah, I think we're caught up and in a good place right now. It's a good focus, loose and focused at the same time. But feel good. More things to polish up. We got some meeting tonight just to make up for some meeting time that we lost this morning at the media day. But guys look like they're in rhythm.
The ultimate goal, obviously, is Monday night. And it's the last time this team, Team 144, is going to take the field. What type of emotions does that bring up for you?
Just one more phase line, one more to go. Fortunately, that's been the mentality of the team. Win the next game, and here we are. Just so happens there's one left, but yeah, there's one left. So the one-track mind is in existence. It's really like a thoroughbred coming down the straightaway. You can see the finish line in your sights. You got the blinders on, and each guy just pushing themselves, going to the whip, and thundering to bring it home.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to the film, Jansen Vision. We take a look back at last week against Alabama in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, and I remember a couple of segments ago, I talked about block and ghosts, and this is a great example. We got Mike Barrett right here, and just to give you the idea of what he's going to do, it's a straight shot. How does that happen? Well, this offensive line has got to figure out who is coming up front, and with the threat of a lot of other guys coming, they decide, hey, we're going to block here, but we're going to turn the entirety of this offensive line over here to block Jalen Harrell. What happens is Jalen Harrell is going to drop out. Mike Barrett comes, they don't see it, and it's an easy hit on the quarterback. And that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about block and ghost. You've got 4 guys right there blocking 3, and it's completely unnecessary. Now I want to move on to one here. It's 4th and 2. It is, you gotta have a first down here. This is part of that last drive, and this is what I want to show everybody is you've got an opportunity here to create with Blake Corum, who just went over here and lined next to J.J. McCarthy. You got a tight end that's going to come across here. You got Colston Loveland coming up here, and Roman Wilson doing this. This individual right here, I'm going to clear it out so you can see it even better. He's got Blake Corum one-on-one. He gets caught up in all that wash of your wide receivers and tight ends going there, and it creates an opportunity for Blake Corum with all this green grass. And we got excited in the booth. I know everybody got excited watching it. Now here's what you can't have. You can't have penalties like that. And that's, I'm not doing that to single out Roman Wilson. I'm doing that to talk about the fact that special teams and moments like that, when you're playing championship football, you're able to get away with it in the Rose Bowl, but you can't get away with it in a national championship game. It will cost you. Now, my favorite play of the game. I want you to watch this big fella right here. He goes at about 360 pounds. I also want you to watch this little guy right here. You know what? Everybody talks about size matters. And when we talk about size matters, it's the size of this guy's heart, because we've seen it all season long. Absolutely takes this big individual, puts him right in the lap of Jalen Milroe, and it's actually the right tackle. We kept wondering who makes this play. It's the right tackle that makes the play, because we're singled up here. Junior Colson has the running back. We're singled up, and everything is a zero blitz. If you don't get Jalen Milroe right here, it's a walk into the end zone, but it's a great job of winning those individual matchups. And this guy right here, one of the biggest hearts you're ever going to see, and they all get a chance to celebrate. That is an absolute thing of beauty. When I talked to Braden McGregor, he said he was out there, he's like, I don't know what to do. And I had that experience too. Like, you don't know what to do at that moment, who to celebrate with. It's pure joy.
When we celebrate in the booth, John almost broke my thumb. We'll hear from some members of the Wolverines when we continue on Inside Michigan Football.
Inside Michigan Football is brought to you by Meijer, presenting sponsor of the 2023 Michigan football season and proud supporter of thousands of local sports teams across the Midwest. Hi again, everyone. It's Ed Kongursky back at the team hotel. As kickoff creeps closer, the buzz and the thrill amps up. Before departing Ann Arbor, I talked to some of the guys about just the raw emotion of playing in this game, and one answer in particular may surprise you.
I don't really feel any emotions, if that makes any type of sense. I don't feel anything. I'm just so ready. I want to prepare, all week as I've already done, and go out Monday and give everything I have for 60 minutes. And then after that, all the emotions will most likely hit. But right now, it's weird. I don't feel anything. I just feel like I'm preparing for the biggest game of my life, and I'm ready to go.
It feels like everything we've been working for. It feels like, everything that we've dedicated the season to, guys who came back. It's all right here in front of us now. And, I wouldn't want to be in any other position. We understand that there's so many other people who wish and dream of to be in the opportunity that we have right now. So we have to understand that, this opportunity isn't for everybody. This opportunity is for the ones that, really dedicate their time, sacrifice everything to put themselves in this position.
It's kind of a blessing, a lot of people are done with their season. I get to keep going. I get one more game to show the world who I am. I got one more game to show the world what this team is and, what it can be, and it's just a blessing.
I don't really feel any. What a great answer by Blake, and it certainly frames his intense focus as he prepares for the biggest game of his college career. For Inside Michigan Football, I'm Ed Kongursky.
So, John, the Wolverines will play for a national championship Monday night. Give us a couple keys to the game.
When the Washington's offense is out there, it's all about that group of wide receivers. And Michael Penix, he is very good right now. He's very accurate. When I say he's very good, he's really in sync. That great chemistry with his receivers. Sometimes he's throwing that ball before Rome Odunze, their number one receiver, is even out of his break. It's to a spot, at a spot in time, and both of those guys are on the same page. When the Michigan offense is out there, it's going to be controlling the line of scrimmage, scrimmage and then getting JJ involved in all aspects of the offense. There's nothing to save him for.
It's been a great season here on Inside Michigan Football. Thanks for being with us. So long from Houston.